So, it's finally here. We have our first teaser, which contains gameplay for Sonic Frontiers. Now, I haven't actually watched this yet, but just from quickly glancing at the comments, this should be pretty fucking good. I swear to God, first things first, I'm gonna clear something up. I swear to God, I'm working on the Metal Sonic analysis. I was working on it just before this dropped, in fact. So any further delays to the Metal Sonic video, you can blame on Sega. But yes, without further ado, let's finally watch this and hope that we get some really good showcase of the gameplay. Ooh, this music. Wait, what's... I I want to speak, but there's so much happening. Uh, what the hell just happened? Uh, okay, wow, okay, I was not expecting that. That was, what? That was in 30 seconds, we got shown quite a bit, so... I'm fucking speechless. Hang on 1 second.
A few moments later.
Okay, just what we're gonna do now is take a look at this trailer, go through it a bit slower, and see what we can pick out and just discuss it. And at the end, I'll just give my final roundup thoughts, like I always do with these sort of videos. But let's just go. Yeah. First thing I'll say is this music. My God. Like just through listening to it from the first time I watched this trailer, I will say that there's something about this music that just feels so open. It's a musical piece that's very different to what we expect from a typical Sonic game. You know, typical Sonic game, it's you know, fast, usually kind of rock heavy music, or with more modern incarnations of the music, very synth heavy. But this one is just like this soft piano. I don't know if we're gonna hear this or if this is like a piano cover of the main theme, or if it is the main theme of the game, or part of the main theme at the very least. But it just, there's something about it that just sounds so open and free. I can't quite put my head on it. I can't quite explain why it does. I'm not a musician, but it just does. But yeah, let's keep going. Oh my God. Okay, so let's just go back to there for a second. So we see Sonic boosting. And this is something that I said in my analysis of the Sonic Frontiers trailer previously. That, you know, I think Sonic could work so well in an open setting. I think the boost can work so well in an open setting just because there's more freedom of movement. And with the right controls, running around with Sonic, I could just spend hours doing that. The Sonic Utopia fan demo, the fan game demo that I showed in the previous video as well, that showed how a more classic style of Sonic formula could translate to an open world setting, and it translated beautifully. Genuinely, it's a free download. Go just Google that name, download the game. It's so good, Sonic Utopia. But then there's also this engine that released afterwards. I can't remember what that engine was called. Maybe it was like... No, I really can't remember what that engine was called. But so many fan games were made with that engine, and it showed, you know, how more sort of freeing control scheme that still incorporated the boost could still be used in levels. And so I just think that it could work so well, and I could honestly, if it looks like it's translated extremely well, and if the gameplay plays exactly like it's showing right now, then I could literally just waste hours just running around this open world, just running into shit, dealing with it, kind of like I do in other open world games, to be honest, and it would be so good. I can't wait to play this game. I really can't wait, but Jesus, we're only 9 seconds in. Alright. Alright. Okay, so right here, there's a few things to point out here. So first off, we can see we're just like looking at the background here before we point out the obvious of whatever this thing is. We can see a bunch of grind rails. I think my mouse cursor is on screen, so these look like a bunch of grind rails just all over here. I think these are some enemies up here in the top right hand corner, or at least they resemble enemies. This world looks fucking gorgeous, by the way. I probably won't stop saying that throughout the entire build up to this game, and when the game comes out. But it looks gorgeous. Up here in the top left corner, there's some more rails as well, and some of these bridges and platforms here. Also, the tier of these springs, and yep, they've gone with the sort of modern design of the springs, which I'm more than happy with. And there's rings here in the open world too. I don't know how rings are going to serve in this open world. I guess it's just going to be the normal life system, or maybe is there going to be some kind of shop or vendor that we can use to potentially buy upgrades for Sonic, or do we find upgrades in just out in the open? Like seriously, I don't know how this could go. But yeah, what we saw here was Sonic charging up by running in this, and it seems to do something, and who knows what that does. Maybe that unlocks some sort of secret or adds something to the map. You got me there. Okay, so that same sort of streak that was behind him in the trailer is behind him here, and when he circles an enemy, well, we get this sort of attack here where it gets flung into the air, and then you can carry on with the homing attack. And that's really cool. I'm glad that the homing attack is here, although it would feel weird if we had a Sonic game without the homing attack. Well, modern Sonic game without the homing attack. And we can see, it's only a couple of seconds, well, less than a second here. But we can see Sonic doing this like combo attack on this enemy here. Which is going to be really cool, maybe reminiscent of Shadow's sort of homing attack in Sonic 06, where you could continue to mash A to deal extra damage to these enemies. So it looks like we're getting loads of just extra attack options, which is really cool. And we saw that sort of chain homing attack there into that. What the hell where did that come from? We're literally given such little footage here to work off of, that I'm at a point where I'm ready just to go frame by frame, but I feel like that would take too much time, and I really want to get back to working on the Metal Sonic video, so yeah, let's just right here. So it's some sort of dash attack from somewhere, unless that's like a chain combo finisher. Sonic bounces off the enemy and then homing attacks off of the air or something. I don't know. But yeah, we can get a front close here. Oh, that right there. Another, like, sort of extra attack that does... again, I don't know if this is going to be incorporated into the main control scheme, or if this is just, like, some kind of finisher move to perform on enemies after you deal enough damage to them. You know, like heat moves from the Yakuza games. Could be. Be interesting to see Sonic with, like, that. Grinding, yep. And I think we just... The grind switch worked successfully, something that can't be said for a fair few Sonic games. And it looks like it's going to be the same kind of grinding from the more recent games, which is, I'll be honest, I'm kind of, when it comes to the modern grinding, it just feels a little bit boring, because all you're doing is just jumping between the rails and jumping to avoid shit. I feel like the older grinding was a lot better with the sort of extra movement and balancing that you had to do to build up speed. It made grinding more of a risk versus reward system rather than a hop on this to get from A to B. And in a lot of cases in some of the older games, grinding was optional. City Escape, for example, a lot of optional grind rails there. That you could use to speed yourself up. So, yeah, the grinding just looks alright, but I'm guessing that that's not going to matter too much in the grand scheme of things, because it's still alright. And here we see Sonic fighting this like giant creature and climbing to the top, and again doing another sort of combo attack. We saw a couple of kicks as well, and this is just, it's giving me Shadow of the Colossus vibes right now, just climbing up these gigantic creatures, dealing damage to them and taking them down. And I'm wondering how many of these giant creatures there are going to be. And this one here, like the one that we saw in the previous trailer at the end, it looked quite natural. This one looks a bit more mechanical and metallic. And that's it. That's the entire trailer. God damn. Oh, Jesus, I am so excited for this right now. I will admit that I was still kind of excited for Sonic Frontiers, but it was mostly intrigue, just how would they translate it to an open world format. It looks like it's going to be really fun. Nothing about the story here, which kind of sad, but I, I don't know actually. A lot of trailers nowadays seem to spoil the story way too much, and I kind of like going into stories blind. So maybe actually, considering Ian Flynn is behind the story for this, I will be more appreciative of the story, not knowing what it is. Um, but yeah, final thoughts are this just looks really fun. It looks fun to run around. There's loads more movement options, attacking options. We saw combo attacks. We saw a chain homing attack, sort of finishing move. We saw that you can run around and circle enemies to use some kind of power to push them into the air to then continue to attack them. It I, we saw even something like just doing some punches and kicks. Again, it all looks very open, and this music as well, great. And like I said in my last video, this kind of brings about that whole thing of, this looks like Sonic Team has ambition. I'll say it like that. This looks like Sonic Team has this huge spark of ambition all of a sudden. Like with more recent games, it just felt like Sonic Team were just kind of doing their sort of thing, but it didn't feel like there was as much of that ambition behind the games like there were in some of the older games. How do I try and describe this? Like for me personally, it feels like the sort of last game that had serious ambition behind it was Sonic 06, and I felt like a lot of the ambition behind Sonic Unleashed, and with the story of Sonic and the Black Knight, sure, but like between those three and past that, it doesn't feel like there's been a high amount of ambition behind Sonic Team, and this looks like they're finally going to go that extra step to try and do something big, new, and unique with Sonic that we haven't seen before. They've kind of been playing it safe with the boost formula, and the boost formula works with Unleashed and Generations. Forces, no, Forces fucking sucks. I think and the controls in Forces sucks as well. And yeah, that's one thing I want to check actually real quick, 'cause I didn't actually pay attention to this. Do we have like a closer look at Sonic's model here? Because I know a big thing. Um, hmm. Alright, yeah. So essentially, you might be wondering what I just did. But I just wanted to just check on Sonic spike length, because for some reason that's been a huge debate in the Sonic community. And honestly, I don't particularly care too much whether Sonic has short or long spikes, but I do sort of understand why people were a bit hesitant to see Sonic with short spikes. Short spikes and a lighter shade of his fur is typically indicative of a more classic design, and obviously with the whole nostalgia pandering thing that's been happening in the Sonic franchise, people, are getting kind of sick of all the nostalgia. And I gotta say, this doesn't look like they're relying on any nostalgia here at all. This looks so new, and I absolutely love that. And this logo as well looks really cool. No release date yet, but I think it's still scheduled for late this year. But yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say in this scenario. What did you guys think of this trailer? Are you excited as I am? Because I'm bloody excited. I mean, I was fucking speechless the first time that I just went through this trailer. It looks beautiful. It looks absolutely beautiful, and I cannot wait. Sonic Team, I think you're gonna hit the mark with this one. Uh, Hopefully these words aren't used against me, but I think that you've actually done it. This looks great, genuinely great, and looking at it now, it may have potential for Game of the Year for me, but it still has to surpass Elden Ring and potentially Sifu when I get around to playing that. But yeah, thank you all for watching. Metal Sonic video is on its way very soon, and I'll see you guys next time.